Hi, my name is Adam Boker, and I own Smoking River Barbecue. So I heard about it on Instagram. It came up as I was scrolling, and it was a perfect timing actually. I was really trying to jump into my own career, open my own restaurant, been making other people's dreams come true for a very long time, and I was ready to make mine come true. So I started in the career when I was actually a kid. My father owned restaurants on the west side of Cleveland, and I decided to take it to the next level and go get an education. I went to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. Then I moved to New York City and worked at a Michelin star Italian restaurant. My background is I'm a CIA grad. I went after CIA. I moved to New York City, worked at a Michelin star restaurant for Mario Batali. From there, I really honed my skills as a chef. And then I moved back here when my father passed. It was just time to come home about that time. After I came back, I started working for Dante in Tremont and a couple other people around the city. Became an exec under Dante at DC Pasta. So I started getting into management at about 24. From there, I ended up going down to Valenti's. If you guys are familiar in the Broadview area, I was the opening chef there. So I have experience opening restaurants, and eventually met my wife around that time as well. Her plan was after she had actually left the restaurant industry to pursue to help a family that their mother passed away. She was 39 years old. She died of the flu. And when she passed, she went and nannied these two kids. And the plan for her was to move to Texas and work for Aaron Franklin when she decided to get back into the restaurant industry. Well, by marrying me, I kind of ruined her plan. So she decided, because family was so important, if we were going to start a family, that she wanted to be around her family. So it's Texas style with Cleveland roots. So we're doing Texas style smoked meats. The things that go on our beef is salt, pepper, smoke. That's it. Not just our beef, anything that goes in our smoker, salt, pepper, and smoke. That's it. And then some of the sides that we're trying to do are things as far as beef brisket stuffed into pierogies. We're doing smoked kielbasa. We're doing smoked corned beef. Things that are a little more Cleveland in nature, just kind of pay a little homage to our home. Is doing things, the brisket, but then we also have things like corned beef. I think that when you have people from Cleveland, they have that feeling of pride towards certain things, that this is our food. And I think you find that with corned beef. I think you find that with kielbasa. You find that with the pierogies over there. And it's another thing about that is it's a good way to utilize what we already have. Once you have these briskets, if you don't sell them, there's not a lot you can do with them.
Your sauces are good too. You make it scratch?
Yeah, sure.
What are you making with this one?
That so I take onions, I smoke them, and then I puree them. That's a little something. But there's tomato paste, which is kind of the base, which is how it makes it Texas. And then it's like brown sugar, maple syrup, all that kind of jazz. Honey.
Yeah. The business plan, thoughts?
Him and I talked about it earlier, but I liked everything. I mean, I think it was solid. You described your business well. Your unique selling proposition of what you're doing is solid. I think I'd spend a little more time, and we talked about this, talk about your target market.
Okay.
You know, and who exactly you're aiming for, especially when you're out in where you're looking at that there's a lot of different populations out there and who you're going to try and aim for.
The hardest thing for me has been the real estate. Finding a location in a neighborhood that I actually wanted to be a part of, as well as with my situation with the smoker, it's a little more difficult. I need to have a space where the smoker can actually live. I need a parking lot, or at least a parking space for it to live.
How many briskets can you get in each of those?
So each one of those, they say, can hold about 26. I think you could put 26 on there. I think you're pushing it. I think it's probably closer to 12. It does have a top rack. To be honest with you, it's not good for much besides ribs, unless you have a really short brisket. But the temperature difference in the bottom and the top is pretty drastic, actually, because obviously heat rises. So what ends up happening is you kind of torch stuff up there. You got to be kind of careful, which works for ribs because we cook ribs hotter. The problem is the smoker; they want $8,000 a month in rent.
Yeah, that's about what it's going to. I mean, that's.
And I understand that. I'm okay with that, but.
What I mean was that with their sales, you look at $1 million a year in revenue.
Yeah.
You know, you look at 7-8% of your rent coming.
Right.
Your the gross. What does that mean? So now you're at 8,000 out of $1 million. You're almost 10%. I mean, you got to be careful.
Sure.
And that rent, I think, is too high.
They did a really great job kind of diving deeper into some of the details that maybe people gloss over as far as business plans. as well as understanding how funding works, and also even when it comes to negotiating your lease and all that. I really appreciated that Brandon was very straightforward and very blunt about how things work. He just doesn't really dance around things. I think most people in the world aren't like that, and he's been great about that. And John as well. John is not really a BSer. He's like, hey, this is what it is. So it's really nice to work with both of them. They both sacrifice a lot of time, and they're very generous with their time. I really appreciate it.
I don't know. What do you have raised right now?
So my investor is willing to do it up as little as 50. He's talked to go as high as 2.
Oh, even if you don't buy the space?
That was before he had this whole hardcore buying space.
So aside from him, what else you got?
His brother actually he owns a real estate agency, and he's starting to get involved as well. I don't have exact numbers from them.
Do you have any money you're going to put towards it?
I can probably, yes. Actually, I have a second mortgage, so I have about 6 I can get my hands on.
Okay. But you have that equipment, you got the equipment, the smoker, you got some of the hotel pans, etc.
Yeah.
So your costs will be maybe a little less. Okay, so let me get this straight. Do you take a look at the space already?
Correct.
What do they say they want for it?
They want.
You're gonna buy it.
Correct.
What about leasing it? A couple of things I'm thinking. One, I don't know. Walk into a restaurant, you should be able to do for almost nothing nowadays, right? Literally, like nothing except for maybe some lightweight build out. I don't know, 50, 60,000 should get you a restaurant open, plus a liquor license. 130 plus. I mean, all those other ideas and topics and thoughts are investments that might pay dividends in the end. I don't know if it's the smartest way to do it.
Okay.
Right? That's just my opinion.
Sure.
If you're looking to get to a restaurant, you're looking to lease it. Great. I think that's a pretty big note that you're trying to come up with.
Sure.
And if you haven't even asked this lady a question, hey, we just want to lease it.
Sure.
And see where it goes. That might be a better option.
Well, if I have my way, obviously it'll be great. The thing is, the first step first, we need to get our location. Once we have that location, I think you really will see a love for this place. I think that you're going to find that people in Cleveland are going to be talking about it. And it's, we don't have that reputation for barbecue. I want the city that has that to change.
Right. We want to make sure the person, we like to know the person.
For sure.
And like, hey, if the fan, just call us and be like, hey, man, what do you think about this? Because we've seen some people make some some dumb shit that costs from 10 to 20, tens of thousands of dollars. Oh my gosh, man. Got our support for something. How much, I don't know. But that stuff has got to be contingent upon that first deal being made. It's got to be a smart deal. Okay. It's got to be a smart deal. I like going to Square. I think it's a great idea. I think that area needs it. And also, it sounds like it's in need of great barbecue, right? But you got to pound that deal. You got to just beat them up. And unfortunately, it's the business we're in. Yeah, for sure. The thing is, with barbecue, it's always about community. A lot of times I worked in fine dining. You don't always get that. Sometimes it's very removed from the guest. But you're just trying to be a part of their experience, and that's what that is. And there's nothing wrong with that. But with barbecue, it's more like everybody's got a voice at the table. Everybody can be a part of it, and let's all come together and enjoy a meal.